We've made a horrible mistake. We decided to do some routine maintenance on the Malibu the other day, and that all went well and fine, but you never want to do that because as soon as you start trying to maintain your vehicles, they start thinking they're entitled to something, and then they start causing you problems. This thing's like right on the brink of spitting out a U-joint. Got some pretty harsh vibrations on the highway the other day, so it's out of commission, and I gotta be somewhere in the city at like 4:30 today. So um, this is currently the only other vehicle I've got that runs, and this is not the kind of thing you want to be driving around in the city. I can tell you that. You know, if somebody sees this and it just screams, pull me over and arrest me, I'm a degenerate scumbag. So we're trying to tone that down a little bit, you know, so it just says, please don't pull me over. I'm a degenerate scumbag, but I'm trying to get my life back on track. So that's what we've got to do here. Obviously, everything we're about to do is only temporary unless it works. We're trying to kind of put up the old eminence front here that there's actually something here, even though there's not. But if you look at it from a distance, it'll be okay. Jeez, why? Why? Now, I know there's going to be that one person that says, oh, you're just making that up to get views, and you don't actually have to go into the city, you're just trying to get attention, or, well, maybe, but there you go. See that? Yeah? You also see here that we're doing a pretty efficient job of turning a 5-minute job into a all-day job. I didn't actually drop it, but I got one side in, and then, well, we got, the first two went well, and then we got one side in, and we pressed in the one side, and then we went to slide it up, and, felt that there was a pin that had dropped, and luckily we did notice that before we pressed the other side on, but yeah, I think the rest is fairly self-explanatory. So much fun. What piece of crap, officer? I don't see no derelict pile of garbage here. This is a fine, beautifully restored truck. I'm pleased to say it's a couple days later, and all of our careful restoration efforts are holding up quite strongly. So for all the naysayers that said it wasn't going to last, this is for you. So I know this is the internet and everyone just takes things for face value, and everything is literal, but I just want to clarify that everything we just did here is not staying. Those of you who watched the last video, we were kind of pondering what to do with this, and we are repairing this truck. I guess we don't really have a choice anymore, because I just ordered up a bunch of bits and pieces for it. So everything we did is getting cut out, and we've got some pieces we're building, some pieces we're buying. It just really depends on the price and the time that it would take to build. So we've got new rocker panels, new cab corners. I bought this complete floor section. I think it comes up to about here, and it includes the inner rocker panel and everything else. Then as far as the floor goes, or the lack of it, so everything, I think the patch comes to about here, and then I didn't think it was worth buying floor pans just to replace this section, so we'll just make the rest of that. We also have to make our firewall piece. The firewall is the one kind of bad thing on this truck. It's rotted basically like right up to here, so all this we're just going to make. I did purchase this inner panel for both sides. Again, it's just going to be faster to buy it. Same thing, I bought the lower door post here. These things always rot out. It fits underneath the rocker panel, and this one's rusted out fairly high, so I'm hoping the piece goes up high enough. If not, we'll have to kind of bodge something together there. But again, just trying to save some time here. And yeah, the replacement piece comes up to about here, but we are going to have to build further up because it's rotted all the way up through here. They didn't have the rear cab mount in stock. They did have the slip-on style, but this one I'm just gonna get the factory style. I don't even waste your money on the slip-on. Front cab corner was in, or front cab mount was in stock, so we got the OEM style. So we got that coming. Obviously new bushings and body mounts and everything like that. Haven't decided what I'm doing with the doors yet, so we're just kind of holding off on that for now. Same thing with the front fender. I'm gonna try to head out to the junkyard here when I have time and see if I can find one that's an original fender that's repairable. This one is not repairable. There's kind of a point when the stuff gets decayed where it's no longer really feasible to repair, but I do have all original front sheet metal otherwise for the truck, so I don't really want to buy a new fender, but the aftermarket ones for these trucks actually are pretty decent. But again, it'd be kind of nice to have all original sheet metal on the front, so if I can find an original fender, I will. I don't care if I have to replace, you know, the back down or whatever, but this one just, it's rotted all the way up to the top, all along the seam where it fits inside the hood. It's rotted all the way up to here, so we would be replacing all of this, including the inner brace is completely gone. Then we'd be replacing this entire lip here, basically up to here. And then all the front is blown out. All of this is gone away. Same thing at the bottom. So we'd have to build, the only metal that would be left on this fender would be like this section and like up to here. So for 300, I think $350 Canadian, you just can't justify spending, you know, all that time building a fender for a truck that well, probably the third most common truck ever built. So that's the plan there. Gonna try to find an original fender, but if not, then but we're just holding off now. No rush on that. I have decided that we're going to be attempt to fix the hood that's on the truck. It needs corners, front and back. It's also blown out on the front here. We'll have to build that. All this we're going to be, yeah, all this is gone in here. So we're going to be just building all of our repair panels for the hood, and we're going to attempt to save the hood because the top is fairly straight, the sides are straight, but it is, again, blown out here, so we're going to have to make a piece in here and all of this. I thought about fixing this other hood here. It's all crunched in at the front and it is very repairable. I gotta take the brace out to do that, and I think just to make up some patches for this hood is going to be faster than doing that, and then it still has the original hood on it. If you watched the last video, I do have this piece here. It does need some repairs, but it's not, it's considerably better than this piece. We do have fender for this side, an original fender, and again, I'm not sure what I'm doing with these doors yet. Unfortunately, this one's, you know, it's had some body work in here. I don't know what's gonna be there. It's not like thick or anything, but somebody's taken a grinder to it and kind of made a mess of it. And then it needs, you know, bottoms again. So I'm holding off. Not sure what I'm doing with the doors yet. The cab on this side needs all the same patch panels as the other side, so we've got all that coming. Box, I don't know if it's going to show up on camera. It is repairable, but it is actually quite rough. If we, I don't know if it's going to catch or not. Well, you can see there's one dent there. That's pretty minor, but yeah, it just doesn't want to. I don't know if you can see, but the whole thing it's punched in this way and then kicked out at the back. So there's actually going to be a fair amount of, well, a bit of repair anyways to get this sorted out. It doesn't, unfortunately, it doesn't seem to pick up on camera how lumpy it is, but if you look at it in person, it's quite, it needs some repair for sure. And then we got the usual, you know, somebody's done some repairs here as well. And yeah, I think this one's okay. Well, it needs some work, but it's not terrible. Not sure what I'm doing with the tailgate yet. I guess whole bottom's punched in hard, and it is also appears to be rusty. The tailgates for these trucks, they've really gone up in price. So I know we fixed worse, so I'm not sure what we're doing with the tailgate yet. But I'm thinking, if we do fix it, I would basically have to remake this whole bottom, and then it's all just absolutely hammered up here. And the only thing holding this bottom together is all the paint on it. I think it's going to be pretty thin underneath. So not sure yet about the tailgate. This box side needs some rust repair here. You can see it's blown out there. Little ding here. Same deal. This box side, they look okay, but this one it's kicked in again at the front here, and I don't know if this one's. It might be bowed out. Yeah, it's bowed out a bit at the back around the wheel lip. Also needs some rust repair here, so we're going to be fabricating our own panels for this. Same thing up here. We'll just make a piece for that, and then we'll have to straighten out the dent in here and get it all ironed out again the best we can. As far as the kind of exterior of this truck, what I'd like to kind of do is get this red primer off, the last of it off. I don't think it's really adding anything to the appearance. I want to see how much of this color underneath is left. It's unfortunately not original paint. It has had one bad repaint in the past, but the red primer I don't think is adding anything to it, and so I would like to just see what's underneath. I could live with like this color being the way it is, but just all this red primer just it doesn't look very good at all, I don't think. So in theory, what we could do is just clean up the paint underneath the best we can, and then just blend our repairs into that, which should make this project a lot more feasible, I think, for me at least. I know some people are just like violently opposed to just old paint and that kind of look. To me, old paint is cool. Original paint is obviously, the best, but just an old paint job, it's cool, and it's something that can actually be driven and used without worrying about door dings and all that. So that's kind of my take on that. But if I get this red primer off and it just like there is some Bodywork and something like this red primer, I think it went on sometimes in the 80s, and it was like kind of a last ditch effort to just keep this thing going, and so they did some pretty harsh stuff. I'm not a bodyman or painter, and I'm not set up for doing painting in here, so that's just way out of the scope for this project. I already got quite a bit of money invested in the truck, just buying it, and then not to mention all the parts I just got for it. So we got to kind of keep things in perspective here. I know it's hard to tell from watching these videos, but I'm actually, believe it or not independently wealthy. This is all pretty extreme budget stuff we're trying to do here, and I'm not saying budget like where they say in the magazines, or I guess on the big professional channels, where it's like, oh yeah, I've only spent like 80 grand on parts on this thing. It's a budget build. I know this is we're scraping our pennies together to make this happen. The license plate and road sign thing to patch the rust. This truck is past that point. I mean, that's kind of fun, but when it gets into the structure, then I don't think that's a good way of doing it. And I think it is definitely, again, worth actually fixing this cab. So we're not gonna cut corners on that, but we definitely have credit cards and mortgages and things like that have to get paid too. So the one downside, of course, to trying to save what's left of the old paint is that the side trim for this truck is long gone, as it always seems to be on these trucks. I don't know, somewhere there in the abyss, there's just a whole stack of side trim for these trucks that's been ripped off and tossed aside somewhere. And so I'm not sure where we're going with that yet. I priced out new side trim, and yeah, but it would look just, I think it looks amazing, especially if we repainted the white stripe here and just, you know, cleaned up the rest of this color here and left the rest of the truck like that. I think it would look pretty sharp, but with the side trim and everything. But that's all up in the air right now. We'll stick to the welding and doing that, and see how the views go on these videos, and see how people are liking it and whatever else, and how YouTube's going to treat us on this project. And if it goes well, then we'll do more to it. If it doesn't, then I guess we'll have to kick it off to the curb and hope to break even on it. I did actually drive it to the city back and forth twice now. First was we had to go in for Mother's Day. That was kind of our emergency restoration. And then I had to go the next day to get U-joints for the Malibu. So this thing, it is pretty reliable for what it is, so no complaints there. But I can't be driving it the way that it is, obviously, for very long. It's just not a good way to be going about. And yeah, I just wanted to kind of clear up that the plan is to fix and sell this truck. It's not to keep it for myself. Kind of tempting, I guess. If I was keeping it for myself, I'd probably just get away with buying cab corners and rockers, and then just kind of, you know, do the tack and bash on the rest. But because I'm selling it, I want to, you know, spend the extra little bit and do a little better job of it, because these trucks, I know based on the comments in the last video, some of you think these are still $500 trucks, but these are actually, you know, getting into like real money for these trucks. And not that I care, because I like them, but I am selling it, so we have to take that into consideration. So yeah, the popularity of these trucks, it just exploded. So, you know, the whole license plate and scabbing stuff together is just it's not going to add anything to this, and this is a very repairable cab, so it is worth fixing. It's getting extremely hard to find one of these cabs that doesn't have the roof blown out on it, or just, you know, been horribly restored multiple times. So this is definitely a very repairable project. Going to be a lot of work, more work than the 48 GMC that we did. These are a lot more complicated to fix. There's a lot more box channels and things like that. And just overall, there's a lot more rust and things like that has to be built. We have to build panels for this and whatever. So even though it runs and drives, it is going to be a bigger project, and you'll see going forward kind of one of the reasons, I guess, why it's going to be a bigger project, because I do have another one of these trucks, a 66, and it's rust free, and for the most part has been mechanically gone through, so it doesn't make sense for me to have two of these, obviously. And my 66 GMC was my first truck, so I guess I bought that truck when I was like, I think 13 or something like that, when these trucks weren't, nobody wanted them. And so, I mean, I'd rather keep that truck than this one, because this one I just bought, so it doesn't really mean anything to me. I just don't want anyone to get upset when we get halfway through the videos and you find out that I'm selling it, and it's like, oh, you following along with this wonderful journey that we've been on, and now you're just going to sell it. Well, no, that's the plan all along. So just thought I'd clear that up. I did the same thing with the 48 GMC. I said right away we were going to fix it and sell it, and then people still got upset halfway through that I was selling it. But anyways, yeah, I don't need another one of these. It was tempting just to keep this thing as a beater, but it doesn't make sense to keep this thing if I've got another rust-free one. It can go on to someone else that really wants one of these, and we'll do the welding and the hard stuff and whatever, and then go from there, I guess. But this is probably going to keep us busy until the fall, I would imagine. So depending on how the videos do, I do have one other kind of really big project or thing scoped out for this. It's kind of controversial, but it's kind of something I've been wanting to do for a while, but it's not something I want to do for myself. But we'll see how the time goes on this project, and how well it's received on the whole YouTube thing. If people are into it, then we'll do it. If not, then we won't. But obviously, priority is cab. And to do the cab on this, everything's got to come off. The whole front end's got to come off. The box has got to come off. I'm hoping to at least leave the cab on here, but I don't know. It's a big project for sure. We also got to do some engine things, swapping and what have you. So that's probably going to be one of the first things we're going to do, which is, yeah, that's a big job in and of itself. Then we'll hopefully by the time that's done, all the repair panels will be here for the cab, and then we can get to the welding. But I want to keep this truck mobile for as long as I can before we rip into it, because like I said, once we start on the cab, everything's gone. Front end, box, gas tank, seats got to come out, everything down to nothing. So it won't be movable for a long time after that. Next video on this truck anyways is most likely going to be fixing this fender, or attempting to fix it. You can see there's a lot of damage all knotted up in here, and then it's also kicked in at the bottom here. So it is, I think it's repairable, but that's going to be probably our next project. Right now, while the truck is still mobile, the plan is to repair all the individual panels that are not bolted to the truck. Like like I said, I've got this, there we go. I've got a better one of these panels that does need some minor rust repair, so we'll do a video on fixing that. We've also got a rad support, a better one that needs, again, some more rust repair. So we're gonna do all of the loose pieces before we take the truck apart, plus the engine stuff, and just, yeah, lots to do. I have good rust-free inner fender panels, so that's going to save some time. You can get a visual here of the rust on the firewall. So we're going to be like, it goes pretty far up. So again, we're going to have to be building our own repair panels for all of that. Not sure if it's like that on the other side. It probably, yeah, you can see it's blown out all the way up to here on this side too. So that's probably gonna be a bit of a job, but it's all pretty flat metal, so I won't worry about it too much. Anyways, there's our C10 update. Sorry for the bodge job on it, but we had to get this thing into town, and I don't really want to start out the project by getting pulled over and having to get it safetied. So that's an update on that, and thank you all so much for watching and supporting and liking and commenting and all that stuff. All the patrons and all the super thankers and the people donating through PayPal and everything else. I just appreciate you all so much, and you're all helping to make this project possible. So we'll be back again soon.